Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Jewel TV episode. I'm Julia Kelleher, joined by three very special people in my life, and we are going to talk some marketing today, and I'm so excited to have them all. Let me mute my thing here because it loves to be on Facebook and say, "Oh yeah, you got audio going on." So hopefully we won't have the fire alarm go off like we did yesterday. That was entertaining. But anyway, this is of course Jenny to my, let's see, would be your left or right? Anyway, my left. That's Jenny. My sister, she's joining us live actually from the Portrait Masters Conference in, where are you again?
I'm in Palm Springs, Indian Wells, California.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Talk to the hand. What is it, like 100 degrees over there?
It's 110.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay, way to be outside.
Right?
I don't feel sorry for you there. And then, of course, Beth is joining us from the studio. Beth Brinston, who, of course, joined the Jewel Images team, a year ago? Yep, about a year ago. And then, of course, Miss Belinda down below me, who has been with us for 6 years now. She pretty much runs everything around here.
The Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch. Pretty much, right?
It's the Brady Bunch. Like, I gotta look down.
So today, of course, we're continuing our talk about the Marketing Audit Challenge, and I just wanted to bring on a panelist of people to help you get some perspective from a different perspective, from a different person. Everybody does marketing in different ways, and of course, Jenny runs her studio in Southern California. Belinda has been in action with me for a long time, and she sees things definitely from a different perspective. And then Beth, not only does Beth work for us, but she's also starting her own photography business here in Bend. So she's like building everything from the ground up and learning this thing called marketing kind of right along with everyone, and has done an amazing job already just in the last few months kind of launching her business. So she comes from that different perspective. So I just thought it would be kind of cool to get everybody on board here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick and take you through what's going on real quick today. So hopefully you guys can all see this pretty well. I'll go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. Last time, my slides ended up kind of, because Facebook Live is a square format, it made it challenging. So I'm going to this time just go ahead and stop our video so you can see. Well, I guess it only stops me, huh? That's all right. Okay. So you'll have four heads talking to you at the same time as you see all this, but hopefully you'll get to see the keynotes here. We're not going to be too long on keynotes because I want to take your questions from the Audit Challenge, and I know Belinda's probably over there frantically trying to get me questions as we speak. So this is Talk Latte episode 35, of course, a Jewel TV production. We will have this episode recorded and on the archives at jewel-tv.com. So when you go to jewel-tv.com to access the archives and see them, we're going to ask you to put in your name and email address. So just go there, and that will immediately get you access to this episode and the roundtable discussion we're going to have today, along with all the other 34 episodes we've done with Jewel TV over the past year and a half or so. So, woohoo, we're going to talk marketing today. I love it. So it's your time. Put away your phone. Get rid of all distractions. Get out a pen and paper because you're going to want to take some notes. We've got some great questions from our folks who are doing the Audit Challenge with us, and I want everyone to benefit from the answers and just the discussion we have about it. So the Audit Challenge, what is this thing? Now, basically, it's 6 days of worksheets that we conduct and send to you every day over 6 days that kind of attack a different area of your marketing. And today it's past clients, and then tomorrow it's your brand. So we're going to tackle both of those today. And I know Beth has a lot of to contribute when it comes to brand, because she's kind of building hers from the ground up and can talk about kind of the struggles she's dealing with as well as the wins and things like that. Past clients, Jenny is the bomb at, because she friggin' markets to her entire past client base all the time, and it's what keeps her business so viable. And of course, Belinda talks to our past clients too, and I think it's important to get those perspectives. So that's kind of what we're going to focus on today with the Audit Challenge. If you do want to join us in the Audit Challenge, it's not too late to join in. It's a free event. All you got to do is go to mlymi.com, marketlikeyoummeanit.com/audit. And of course, as you all know, the audit is the build-up into our launch of our 2017 Market Like You Mean It course. We're going to talk about that when the enrollment for that officially opens. But in the meantime, we're doing this free audit challenge. We're doing the free workshop next week online. packed with good content and information so even if you don't end up enrolling in MLYMI, you can still get some really valuable things out of what we're doing this next week to kind of gear up and amp up for our launch. So join us here daily for the Q&A on the Audit Challenge, and then of course log into that free online workshop coming up September 17th called Build a Marketing Action Plan. So what is this Audit Challenge? It's basically an annual look at your business. We break apart your marketing efforts, kind of the core elements of your marketing, and ask you to evaluate what you're doing right, what's going well, and what needs a little work. And by doing that, it's going to help you build a plan for next year to gradually grow your marketing up, 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 and up. So eventually you get a nice steady stream of truly qualified clients coming in your door. So I'm going to stop sharing. I know B has a bunch of questions for us, right, B? I'm totally put that pressure on you. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I didn't pull them up, but I can get them.
Would you mind getting them? Or here, I'll go join them.
I got them right now.
You got them right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just to make sure audio's not hot on your computer so we don't get the feedback. And we can go from there. And you know what? I think I'll go ahead and go into the questions too. Normally, Belinda's the one who's like printing out all the questions for me. And so we don't have this kind of awkward transition of trying to find all the questions, but that's okay. Okay, there we go. So let's start off with the questions that were posted between yesterday and today. Let's see, is Bridget our first one, Belinda?
Yep.
Bridget is our first one. Okay, Bridget Caldy, I think I'm getting that right. She says, my husband and I are starting out in a new area after moving from New York. Do you have any advice for marketing when you are brand new to an area and the photography business in general? Okay, this is a big question. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I remember starting out brand new in Bend after having been in business in Portland for a while, and it is a little crazy. I don't know, Jenny, what do you think? Do you have any like immediate out of the gate ideas or things to do? What did you do when you first started?
When I first started, I just started telling everyone I met about me. So, you know, all of my past friends, everyone that I knew, I just started handing out business cards and just like talking like crazy to people. That's what I did. I mean, if I was new in a new town, I'd probably start, the first thing I would do would be to start networking with people in the town, local businesses, your chamber of commerce, that kind of thing, and just start getting my name out there as soon as I could.
Totally. And I know, Beth, you've been doing this because basically Beth moved from LA a year ago and started launching a pet photography business. What have you done that's kind of like gotten things rolling? Because you guys should know, Beth's been here for a year. She has a corporate job, a full-time corporate job. She assists for me and helps me with video production here for Jewel Education. So she kind of works for us part-time. And then she's also basically starting a pet photography business from scratch. She's wickedly talented. And yet I remember you coming here and just being overwhelmed, and you actually like put off launching your business because you were worried about it. Can you kind of give your journey? What happened to you?
Well, I'm still kind of worried about it because I'm worried about the amount of time it takes, and I don't have a lot of time. But and I haven't really fully launched. I'm slowly launching. But obviously, with doing pets, one of the first things I did was look at what community groups there were that were focused on pets, and I got myself added to those groups on Facebook and started watching for people looking for photographers to do sessions with their pets. And then obviously, thanks to you, my connection with the Humane Society has been huge for me, and I've done a couple of live auctions for them. And then through that, some of the other companies have started contacting me about doing contests, like one of the big pet supply companies here in town. So it's slowly starting to roll. I've got to get my butt in gear and get my website up because I needed to do that all from scratch. So that's what I'm working on right now, is trying to get my website relaunched.
Well, and I think that you hit the nail on the head. It's like when you get one or two really good connections, things start to change because the ball begins rolling. And I know Belinda has seen this in our business. Like, remember when we got the hospital, like all of a sudden all the other hospitals started calling?
Yep.
It was kind of strange. And I remember you just looking at me with these doe in the air headlights like, Julia, holy cow, how are we going to do this? So, you know, but Jenny, don't you feel like that kind of happened to you too? Once you got one good thing, the other things started coming in?
For sure. Once I got that baby boutique, that first baby boutique that I started doing mini sessions in their store, that just launched me into the stratosphere. Like,
Why don't you tell that story? Because I think that's a really valuable.
Okay. I feel like everyone's heard my story, but I'll tell it again. When I started my business, I was fortunate enough to get hooked up with a, they're knocking at my door.
She's in a hotel. She's supposed to check out.
They want me out.
She hasn't just telling you.
Here, that's why. Yeah, so
I'm so sorry. I'm just envisioning like security coming in and swooping you away.
on my door right now. Oh my gosh.
Do you have the top lock on?
Yeah, and oh my gosh, and I'm talking so they can hear me. I'm gonna have to go talk to them. They're really banging on my door.
Go do it. Go real quick, and then we'll come back to you. Oh my gosh, this is like never a dull moment on Good TV, right?
So while she's gone, the other thing that I started to do was I looked at other photographers that there's nobody niching in pets in Bend, but I looked at other photographers that did do pet photography, and I watched their Facebook pages really, really closely to look at what type of things or engaging posts that they have that get a lot of engagement from their audience. So what are people in the area interested in hearing about, and what, where do all those likes, like if they post a picture, what is the picture of, is it indoor, outdoor? What are people really into in the area? So that's something else I've been doing.
That's a great idea. Are you all safe, Jenny?
I'm back. I've got 30 minutes. So. Okay. Yeah. So I got hooked up with a baby boutique. This was back, 10 years ago when there was a ton of baby boutiques, but I got hooked up with this baby boutique through a friend of mine. And once I did that, I was able to do mini sessions in their store. And I started doing those once a month, and they ended up franchising, and I was doing mini sessions in 4 of their stores in my local, 30-mile radius. And it just built from there, because once I started doing that, then people wanted newborn sessions and family sessions, and it pretty much launched my entire business from that point. And then I was able to get enough money to open a studio and continue on.
And I think that's the big message to take home for everybody, especially like Bridget moving to a new town. It's intimidating when you first get into the new town. I was in the same boat when I moved here, and it's you just have to get 1 or 2 really good connections, and then all the others start rolling in. So I think that hopefully by hearing from some of the other folks, from Jenny and Beth, that helped you to kind of get some ideas. So anyway, she said I like your brochures, hon. They look good. They look very good. Bridget posted her brochure in the question Q&A group. Okay, Ashley says, I have tried a few different referral bonuses, but nothing stuck. And those were honestly when I was first in business. So I need to try again. Any ideas for weddings and family referral programs? My wedding clients are Christians. My weddings, 50% of them are booked by the grooms, so it's different. Fun, 24 to 30 age range, most traditional. Families, 2 to 4 kids, pottery barn time, kids 2 to 12 in age range, Christian lifestyle images. I do all IPS sessions. Well, referrals are so hard. I totally agree with you. I have such an issue with, Jenny, do you have a referral program anymore?
Honestly, I've tried to do one several times over the years, and they just have never really kicked in for me. What I've just really found is the best thing is when people see your images in other people's homes. They'll say, I saw their family photo and I just wanted one too. And so they refer me, but that's really the only extent of referraling I've done. I haven't done a program where you get, things back.
Yeah, I've tried them too. Yeah. And honestly, they don't really work. I mean, have we ever had anybody really want to cash in on our referral program?
No. We've had word of mouth, and I'm sure Jenny does too, but nobody's ever cashed in their actual credit.
Yeah, and I've come to the conclusion that people really want to refer businesses they love to work with. They don't need a reward for it, and they don't want one. They would much rather have the feel good of just referring because they love you, and that's, I think, the best kind of referral anyway. So, you can try different referral programs, getting a credit, or I have found the best thing you could possibly do is just show that incredible customer service and maybe give an unexpected gift to the referring client. Yeah. Maybe a free set of cards or something sweet. Jenny, you sound like you have something.
I was just going to say, I think the most important thing with a referral program is to ask your clients to refer you.
Yeah.
Ask them for the referral and ask them to tell, I've said people before, the best thing you can do for me in my business and to thank me is to send someone else my way. And I've said that to clients and they realize like, oh yeah, because I think clients don't really think about it. They don't think like, oh, I could really, like that would help her in her business. And I really appreciate what she did for me. So it's kind of like even that reciprocity thing where you say, I would really appreciate your referral. So, and ask them for it.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. So I know that, I'm sorry, Ashley, we're not much help. We're basically saying that they don't work. And that's not true. I think referral programs do work. But ultimately, I don't know. I think I'd rather just get referrals from the feel-good aspect of it rather than because I paid somebody to do it. So
I think the referral programs work better in the senior market where you have a rep. And you get a rep that goes around the school and then they get a free session or they get, product or something by recruiting so many people.
I think that you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I think you're right. I think with seniors, it's a different story. With families and weddings, I'm not sure. I think you could try it, but most of us haven't had a lot of luck with it. So, you can have one out there and use it when it happens, but more often than not, we just give a gift or something or just extra special treatment to our top referring clients. They get the best slots in the holidays. They get, a little kickback on their session fee. They get an extra free gift with their order, or I'll come shoot something for free just out of the goodness of my heart because they need something shot for their website or whatever. They become friends, really. And so, yeah. Okay. Yunsen asks, what can you recommend for someone just starting out on a very limited budget besides waiting and saving? I feel your pain, Yunsen. And, marketing does involve some money. I'll never deny that. As far as, we are trying to talk about past clients and branding today. So I think I'll just start with it on the branding side of it. The biggest thing I would say to just starting out is to just stay consistent. And, you can build a website and digital collateral really inexpensively. You can have a personality and a promise on social media and get your social media up and running very inexpensively. So honestly, social media, I think, is one of the best bang for your buck. Just getting that organic reach out there as much as possible would be one of the best ways to go about doing it. And then any kind of partnership that you can form with a vendor. And like, it can cost $1 a piece to create a gift card to give. I mean, that's how Jenny, you did a gift card thing for a while, didn't you?
Are you referring to like the $double thing?
No, I was referring to, didn't you, maybe I'm mistaken. Didn't you in the beginning do like a gift card thing? And honestly, your mini session partnership didn't cost you a dime, did it?
No. And that's what I was going to say was that if you make a partnership with someone else, it doesn't cost you anything until you start making money. I did pay them 10% when I did those mini sessions, but that was after I had already made money. And then just volunteering your time in places, if you want to donate, like Beth's doing to the Humane Society, donating your time, that you'll be surprised how many positive referrals come back from that.
And Beth, you've seen a big boost in your traffic on your social media just from doing those Humane Society shots, haven't you?
Yeah, and I'm getting pretty much messages daily thanking me for the work I'm doing for the Humane Society.
She's doing amazing things. I have to brag about this girl for a second. She is photographing all the doggies and kitties at the Humane Society, and then the Humane Society puts her logo and their logo on the images and then puts those out to social media as animals that are up for adoption. And oh my gosh, like not only is she doing something amazing for the community, but she's also getting a ton of traffic on her social channels and her website. Well, you don't have a website yet, right? I'm sorry. My brain didn't get it. And you can see it on your insights on your Facebook page, right?
Right. Yeah. And like I said, almost daily messages thanking me for what I'm doing for the community and helping the animals. But that's the one thing I love about this town is that it's so animal centric. Everybody, what is it? Like every household has 2.8 pets or something.
Right.
So everybody is really focused. There's lots of, I'm very lucky because there's lots of events and stuff in town. There's one coming up next weekend that has wiener dog races in it. So I'm going to go there and hand out my business card.
I think that's so awesome. But you know what? you did the research. Like you found out that there's 2.8 dogs per household.
Right.
In bed, which told you, okay, there's a market for this here. And that's important, I think, to come across too. Okay, Alicia says, my target market is newborn children and families. Julia, I hate to admit this, but I do not do any marketing to my current clients. Shaking my head. Except for holiday mini sessions. Okay, well, that's some. I will get so many ideas running through my head and get so overwhelmed that I do not know where to start and I end up doing nothing. Analysis paralysis. Been there, done that. Got that t-shirt. We all do, right? Jenny, you do it too, right? Okay. All been there. What would be a really good marketing tool to start with my current clients? Well, B, I'll have you chime in on this one. We've kind of done, and Jenny, I know you've done this too, but I'll start with B since she hasn't chimed in yet. We did like a campaign to our past clients for the fall, right? Tell me what you did.
Well, we kind of stole it from Jenny from last year, but
I do that a lot.
She had mentioned that she calls her top clients in like August, like July or August, and asks them in July and August to book their fall sessions. And so I created a list this year, end of July or so, of all of our clients that do yearly photos, or even, some of our newborn clients or baby plan clients that were good clients to us, and ask them, hey, your family session's coming up. Do you want to get one of the prime fall spots before we open it up to the public, before we start, advertising it widely? And like almost all of them were like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. That was totally on my list and we can get on the schedule now. And that was something that it makes them feel special and endears them to you. And then you get, that calendar started booking up farther in advance. So you're not having to worry about whether or not you're going to book stuff.
Totally. And like I asked you the other day, I was kind of worried about October. I'm like, do we have any bookings in October? And you're like, we started counting. We're like, yeah, we're full. I'm like, oh my gosh, we didn't look. And so like October's full. We haven't quite started working on November yet, but we've got some plans for school stuff coming out in November. So we're kind of holding off for that. But Jen, you do this every year. And I did steal the idea from her. I steal pretty much everything.
That's okay. We steal everything from each other.
One in the family. So yeah, Jen, tell us what you do.
I spend half of my year prepping my clients for fall. So we start early and we call our VIP clients. We kind of have a tiered system. So we call our VIP clients, we start calling them first, and then we send out like an email to, like, we have VIP pluses that we call, and then our VIPs are on an email, the first round emails to book fall sessions. And then once that's done, then we send out an email to the rest of the public. And honestly, my fall calendar is full. Like, it's already full right now. It's full for the end of the year. And so that really helps me. It kind of calms me down because I go, okay, I don't have to worry in the fall. I just have to do the work, That kind of makes it easy. But I think one of the keys to that is sending a consistent email throughout the year to those clients. So I think an email list is a really great way to stay in the eyes of your past clients and just have like a consistent email. I do it once a quarter. I don't want to bombard them with stuff, but I send once a quarter, I send an email to my clients. So when they see something come up in their email inbox that is from me, they know, first of all, that it's something significant that they're not going to just delete because it's too much information. And secondly, they feel like they know what's going on with the studio, and they can kind of pre-plan in their mind what they want to do for the fall. So I think email is probably the best way to stay on top of your past or current clients. And then I also think it's super important to do the phone call, because that makes it personal. And like Belinda said, it makes them feel special that like you're calling, oh, she called me. I must be one of her really important clients, And totally. I have clients all of my clients respond the same way as Belinda did. Like, thank you so much. You just took that off my list. I'm so glad to get that done. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
And I want to add another layer onto that. I truly believe that if you're not building your list, you're killing your business. And what I mean by that is you have to consistently build your email list. Because, we look at our Facebook page and like, oh, we have 1,000 likes. Woohoo! Like this is this big thing on your Facebook page. But you don't own the contact information for those people. Facebook does. And that's a vulnerable position to be in, number one. when you build an email list, you're building a contact list that you have that you can market and put yourself in front of at any time. Not only past clients, but new people. So, in Market Like You Mean It, we have a whole module on something called content marketing, which is essentially putting valuable content in front of your prospective clients and your past clients. So, Jenny obviously does studio news and sessions and stuff like that, but you have to really think about what type of content is useful to a potential client. What do they care about? Like, who cares? Why do they want to care about your studio having a sale? What you want to do is put content in front of them that they can actually use in their daily lives, like how to take better iPhone pictures. Or on my website, I've got a thing where people can opt in to download a guide on how to decorate their nursery wall with newborn pictures and trinkets and shadow boxes with the hospital bracelet, all that kind of stuff in there. So I'm giving my new moms who are 7 months pregnant and in that nesting phase something useful to add to their daily lives. But in return, I get their email address and I get the power and the ability to market to them as they lead up to their delivery. And that is incredibly powerful stuff, content marketing. And you get to these customers or these potential clients before anybody else does. Because trust me, mamas who care about photography are searching online going, okay, who's there? Who's the best photographers? Who am I interested in? And if you have something that you're going to provide to her as a free gift, she's going to, number one, have that same reciprocity thing that Jenny was talking about earlier. You're going to have her information and you're going to get to target her with messaging before anyone else does. So content marketing is huge and it's relatively inexpensive, as Yunsen was asking about, to do. Okay, so let's see. Last question on our thread here, and then we'll go to the other one, and we'll have to wrap it up here because Jenny's getting kicked out of her hotel room.
If I just disappear, you know why.
Question one, we are really struggling with last-minute bookings for newborn sessions. I would love to have my calendar fully booked in advance. Is there any way I could make my clients book earlier? I think this content marketing idea would be great to do that. And then, of course, get to your clients, your potential clients, excuse me, I'm going to cough. Get to your potential clients in like the OB office that they're visiting every month, every week, every 2 weeks. You got to hit them before they actually deliver. And, we struggle with this too, because as Belinda can tell you, our images are up at the hospital. So the first question I always ask Belinda is when we get an inquiry is, baby born yet? It's like, is a baby born yet? And we get this kind of grimacing look on our face like, oh, we have to fit them in somehow in the next 2 weeks, when it would have been so nice if she just would have called us 2 months earlier, right? It happens. But I think that by figuring out where your target client is in the process of her life, where she hangs out, where she spends her money, what she has to accomplish in a day, put yourself in those areas and with those vendors and those people, and you'll get ahead of her, get ahead of her faster. Jenny, do you have any ideas or things you want to add in?
Yeah, not really. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. And I think you just have to hit these moms in multiple places, more than just once. So put yourself out on social media, in mommy groups. When I was first starting out here in Bend, there was a forum called Bend Moms for Moms. We have our Baby Brief site, which we've been slowly trying to ramp up, which is a resource for Central Oregon pregnant mommies. How to find different things in their area that will help them be pregnant in Bend. And, of course, we're going to hit them with a content marketing lead there. We're going to hit them with blog information and content upgrades and things like that will make them want to opt in. And that's how we can hit them before they actually give birth. Okay.
I was going to say too, real quick, think beyond the walls, because I know we're going to talk about promotions and partnerships later in the week more in depth, but I know people are going to start asking about displays and how do you talk to people, but think beyond that. I know of someone that made like a coffee table book, so an album, but with like not from all one session, as like a marketing piece that they left on the tables, like where they have the magazines and stuff. So definitely think outside the box. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the walls if there's already a photographer there or something. You can still talk to people about different marketing things, whether it's, if they give out mommy gift bags or, like a coffee table book or something like that. So get creative with your thinking process too.
Excellent point. And that does nothing but lead to other opportunities. If you get a book somewhere in a waiting room and people respond well to it, then the vendor is going to go like, oh, well, people love this. What else can we do? They're especially if it brings them buzz and business, they're going to be like, okay, what else can we do? They'll get it. so to speak. Okay, her second question is, we are currently using a referral code and giving discount for all new clients if they refer to us. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work. I think we handled referrals beforehand, so I'll kind of defer back to what we talked about earlier. But let's go ahead and look at, am I missing other?
We just have one question from Francie.
Yeah, go for it.
So, and this probably applies to Florida now too, but she asked, what's your best ideas for us in Houston? We have had a devastating blow from Harvey and now tax rate increases on our homes. So the luxury of photos are becoming a challenge.
Oh, Jen, this is a tough one. I think this reminds me of back when the economy took a massive dump. Because that's essentially what's going to happen in Houston. The economy is going to take a dump. And there is no joke in that this is going to be a huge struggle for those folks who are there. What worked for me, here's the thing, here's what's going to happen. The nice thing about, obviously it hurts, it's painful, but if you can survive it, your competition will die out. Do you know what I mean? Like, there'll be fewer people to compete with because a lot of people are going to end up closing. This is why having a savings account or something that can float you over bad times is so important. But when I first came to Bend, it was 2009. The economy had just crashed a year earlier, and I started the business basically with the dead economy in the area. The rent was cheap because of that. So if you are at a retail space, I would start negotiating with your landlord and being like, well, my business is about to drop. I need you to lower my rate if you want me to stay here. Just start working those negotiations and expecting the economy to take a dive. I think your vendor partnerships are going to be critical, and you want to make sure and promote or tout the benefits of working together in this environmental situation. Because they're going to need you just as much as you're going to need them. And if you can communicate that concept, you might actually be able to survive through it with few clients. I would baby the heck out of your past clients if you have them. 80% of business comes from 20% of your clients, the 80-20 rule, and that never more rings true than in a situation like this. I would start analyzing where the floodwaters occurred and start targeting to areas where there was no flood. Jenny, your daughter Ashley lives in Houston, right? And there are some areas that were not hit as hard,
there are some,
right?
Yeah.
And was Woodland area, is that what it is?
She's in the Woodlands.
The Woodlands area, which is what, northwest?
Northwestish, yeah.
Northwestish. We don't know Houston that well, so I'm apologizing if I'm hashing this up. I think that tackling some of those areas that are more high end that did not suffer as great of a loss is going to be your best bet. And then also you can try to kind of bring about that messaging of using the flood and what people lost as a reason to start fresh and create new memories again. You can think of some messaging because people weren't able to save all their photos from flooding in that area. So you can use that messaging in your marketing to create a powerful platform. At least that's what I would try to do, but in a positive light, as in a recovery, rebuilding kind of messaging rather than a negative one. Is anybody else? I'm kind of talking off the top of my head. I've never experienced a situation, so I'm just kind of trying to think of what I might do. Any
just as
ideas?
as you were talking, I was thinking about all the people who actually lost images and lost photos and, family treasures. And I think, rather than like marketing on that, what you can really do is, this is a really good chance to do some really good PR and to get out there and donate and volunteer to do maybe photo restoration for people, because there's going to be a lot of damaged photos. You could go down that route. You could also volunteer to recreate photos for families that are in need. And if you start to go down that route where you're giving,
great idea,
because that's what people need right now, you'll feel good about it. And then also people will notice and they'll recognize that you were there when they needed you.
Oh, fantastic idea. And make sure you write press releases, and send them out to media on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
All KHOU, all these TV stations that were destroyed. I mean, go to the TV station and offer to volunteer to shoot their headshots for their employees, because they're going to need a fresh start too. Everybody needs a fresh start. So use it. Jenny's so right. And it's brilliant thinking. I told you she was smarter than So listen to this girl because she freaking knows what she's talking about. And but using that in a positive light, oh man, I mean, look at what volunteering has done for Beth in a very viable economy having to do with critters and animals. I mean, go after kids, go after those things that hit the heart. And focus on your business as being the one that's going to help rebuild Houston and create new memories for them. That's a great, Jenny.
I think also educating them about, there's, I mean, not that they're coming for Texas, but for those of you in other areas, there's still 3 or 4 or something hurricanes after Irma coming. Like, educate people on how to protect what they do have left. People, there's all kinds of stuff going around. I see it in my Facebook feeds on like, oh, put your stuff in the dishwasher because it'll save it. But then there's other people who are saying, don't do that. So just finding, ways to help people find, waterproof ways, or like Jenny said, restoration.
Yeah. I mean,
for stuff.
Yeah. Train yourself. You got Photoshop skills, train yourself on photo restoration, start a side business doing that, because a lot of people are going to need it and want it.
Yeah, and Carla just suggests it's a great idea. She goes, why not reach out to clients who may have lost images and show you have images saved on the cloud? Clients would love to know that they are there if you have them. Yeah, I mean, holy cow. Can you imagine if you just saved a family's memories because you have stuff backed up on a hard drive? Put that PR message out to your clients as well. We've saved everything. Don't worry. Be philanthropic in this time period. It's going to do nothing but long-term make you soar above the rest when it comes to the competition and your marketing in the future. Yes, it's a hurdle to overcome the financial aspect of all this, and I really do feel for you guys in that regard. But also note that most business owners are going to give up. Most business owners are going to be like, I'm done. I can't do it. And you have to ask yourself if you're willing to do the work and if you're going to hustle to make it happen and rise above, make the cream rise to the top, because that's what you guys are, and I know it. I know it. So, okay, I think that's about all we have in terms of comments and questions. I'm missing some.
There's one other question from Jackie Marie, who wanted to know if over the next few days will we be talking about how much budget to put towards your marketing.
Yeah, we will tackle this. I want to point out, those of you who weren't with us yesterday, Jenny and I are kind of going through a little bit of a rough patch. Our mom is very, very ill, and we're not sure she's going to make it through the next couple of weeks. So we're dealing with her being in the ICU and on a ventilator at the moment, which they're trying to get out and help cure her. Unfortunately, she has pneumonia. And sepsis, which is bad. I know I'm being very open about this, but you guys know me for that. And so I promise I'll never be anything but that. So we're not sure if she's going to make it. So we're dealing with hospital stuff. There's a very, very likely chance that I'm going to be flying down to California to be with my mom and Jenny, of course, and help Jenny walk Jenny through this kind of trying time. So I say that because, yes, the audit challenge is going on this week. However, we really do ask for your patience during this time, as things may not be at the right time period. We might not be going live like this. We may be just doing Q&A via typed, and I'll get in there when I can. We are launching our free online workshop hopefully this Sunday, barring no major issues. We are in the middle of recording that right now. But like I said, mom's kind of touch and go, so things are a little bit up in the air in the moment, and we just ask you for your prayers and thank you for the love you had and messages that you have sent so far. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. And so yes, I do want to talk about budget and strategy, but again, it may be more of a typed out written thing than live broadcast like this. It's just going to depend on if Jenny and I, especially me, since I'm conducting this, if I can actually make it or not. So thank you so much, everyone. Did we kind of tackle all the questions? I think, Beth and B, did you see any more come through? I keep refreshing, but then I'm like, am I missing something?
No, that's it.
What'd you say, Beth?
No, that's it.
That's it? Okay. Awesome. Well, then I want to personally thank my beautiful sister, brilliant and talented friend, Jenny, Beth, and Belinda, of course, for joining us today. I hope you got some better insight out of this by having all 4 of us here rather than just little old me. I think it's sometimes different perspectives. And like I said, they got it going on. So anyway, lovely to see you all. Go join the Marketing Audit Challenge, and then of course sign up for our free online workshop, Build a Marketing Plan, Action Plan, which starts next week. Of course, this is all leading up to the launch of Market Like You Mean It, which is our 9-week online mastery course, a business course for photographers to get you really bringing in a steady stream of clients to your studio. It's worked for Jenny and I. It's now very much working for Beth. And for students who were in the program last year, I'm sure they can pop in and talk about their experience. But yeah, so we're gearing up for that. Of course, all that will launch coming up the end of September and into October. So have a great day, everyone. We'll see you soon. And again, thanks for joining us. And we will be back this week, hopefully. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.